So this video is going to cover a major new feature we've released, which is the request a delivery feature. Essentially, that allows your restaurants to directly send orders to you as opposed to you sending orders to the restaurant. And in this way of doing things, the customer, your customer, the delivery services customer, is essentially the restaurant and the normal customer. So we'll just go through like an example of the feature, and then we'll talk about some details of it after that. So there will be a new button in uMenu that's request a new delivery for the restaurant. And because the restaurant is the customer, before they're able to do that, they have to go into settings in uMenu, and there will be a new billing info tab here, and an owner account needs to go in and add the restaurant's billing information, because you'll be charging the restaurant and not the customer. The restaurant is the one charging the customer, and you're charging the restaurant. So if you go in there and click request a new delivery, two pieces of information. The restaurant is giving you a time when the food will be ready to pick up, and then they need to know if the address is deliverable, where this order is being delivered. So, you know, they would enter an address, and if it's not somewhere you deliver right away, it's going to tell them that. If it is somewhere that you deliver, it's going to jump to a screen that's going to give them an estimated pickup time and delivery time. Also, fields that they can enter a food total, a driver tip, customer phone number, customer name, and special instructions for the driver. The only one that's required, or the main one that's required, is a food total, because that total is going to be used to get the final quote for how much this delivery will be. So let's just say that the food total is $20, and they will click Get Quote. So here and on the previous screen, they can enter the customer information. We'll just go ahead and enter some here. Now, so these fees, we'll get into it a little bit more later in the video, but the delivery fee is going to be whatever you have configured for, as if you know, a customer were to place an order on your website. It'll be a distance-based fee or a zone-based fee, however you have that configured. The service fees, so service fee will be exactly how you have it configured in your restaurant profile right now, except if you are marking up prices on a menu, the result of that markup will be bundled into the service fees in this type of order, because you're not really you know, charging the customer and marking up items and stuff. So it's going to take that percentage, and it's going to use the order total that they gave you to add that into your service fees if you're marking up items on the menu. So then if you have a percentage agreement with the restaurant, it's going to also add that as essentially part of the service fee as well. And the whole point of this process is so that the delivery service is going to make the exact amount of money from an order that the restaurant sends them as they send the restaurant. So this, it'll break it down. This customer total is essentially, under normal circumstances, the burden the customer would bear for an order as far as all the money that goes into it, and that includes the driver tip. This vendor taxes and fees would account for your restaurant percentage that you would also be making money from on an order, to come to a grand total that the restaurant is going to be charged, their card is going to be charged here. It breaks it down into two, because the restaurant may want to just charge their customer $12.18 as opposed to $16.38. So I'll just, we're about to accept the quote here. I'm going to open up the dispatch. So if they decide that they want to accept this quote, they'll hit accept quote, and right away that order is going to get pushed directly into your dispatch. It's not going to go into the queue, because the queue is a place for orders waiting to be placed to the restaurant. It's going to go straight into the dispatch, waiting to be given to a driver. And at the same time, it's going to pop up on their screen in uMenu. It's going to look a little different if they look at it. It's going to have this requested by us in designator here, and the items on an order like this are going to be 0. It's just going to give the delivery fee, service fees, taxes, tips in here. Some things about this are when they request a new delivery, the soonest that they could set this ready for pickup is going to correspond to your quote padding for the location this restaurant is in. So say that, for example, you're really busy and your quote padding is 45 minutes or more. When they go to request a new delivery, all of a sudden the soonest that they can choose for a driver to be ready to come and pick this up will correspond to their quote padding, because they shouldn't be able to set this to 10 minutes or something when your quote padding is 45 minutes. So these two are going to correspond, and it should just seamlessly work. Things get crazy once you get really busy, but the concept here is that the available times it's going to give the restaurant should correspond to your current capacity and drivers. So that is essentially the feature, and once the order is here, it's pretty much a normal order. You could edit the order, although I don't recommend doing that too much on these types of orders. But when the order is complete and you go to log it out, it's going to have a space for the credit card, and this is going to be how much that the restaurant is going to be charged for this order. Another thing about these types of orders is that there will be no option for the driver to get a tip at the door. So any tip the restaurant will need to have added when they actually create the order. It's kind of different when you're charging the customer as opposed to as the restaurant is charging the customer. So that option won't be there on the driver app when the driver goes to deliver the order. But other than that, that is the feature, and hopefully this opens up a lot of more possibilities for order origination.